Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Cask 529. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Shona.
Tonight, we're coming at you with a little bit of a different show.
Yep.
But before we get started on that, I just want to remind everybody, we've got a giveaway coming up when we hit our first 100 subscribers, and we're at 97. So 3 more subscribers.
Woo-hoo.
And the giveaway is going to be a bottle of Weller Antique 107. And some miscellaneous Cask 529 merch. So there's lots of fun things coming. We just got to get that 3 more subscribers. So I know you guys can help us get there. Anyway, what we're going to do tonight, we've seen some different things like this, and what we've decided to do is Shona and I each are going to take an imaginary $250. If we were starting a home bar and we had $250 to go buy bourbon with, what would we buy? What's the most bang we would get for that $250? So we each put together a list.
And amazingly, they both had 6 on it.
Both had 6 bottles.
We didn't give each other a limit. It was just what...
Yeah, really the only 2 rules that we had were $250. Yep. That does not include tax.
Right.
And it couldn't be allocated bottles.
Right. It had to be something that our viewers could go and pick up.
Walk right in and get it.
These are Ohio pricing, so we understand if you're somewhere else that you're like, oh, we can't get that for here. But, I mean, we have to go based on what we can get it at.
The other amazing thing, aside from each of us had 6 bottles, there's only 1 duplicate.
Yep.
So we're kind of going to bounce back and forth off each other here. I'll introduce one of my bottles, then Shona, and the one that is the same for both of us, we're going to save it for the last. The no allocated bottles, I'm sure we both would have had picks that we'd have put on the list.
Oh, most definitely.
You know, that similarly priced to some of the stuff we're putting on the list. But we wanted everybody to be able to go out and find this stuff. And even for us, we can't always go get that stuff. So there are some things out there that we like that we couldn't put on the list. So I'm going to start. And I'm going to start obviously with my number 1.
Surprise, surprise.
Going to start with my Bulleit Orange. 750 ml. This bottle can be purchased for $27.99. That has gone up since we first had it on one of our reviews. I think it was $24.99.
Yeah, it used to be $24.99.
So it's gone up $3. Still a great value though. It is a 90 proof. So that is if I was starting a home bar today and I had $250, that's one of my first bottles I would pick up.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Right?
So, my first bottle that I would pick is Wild Turkey 101. It used to be $24.99. It recently moved up to $25.99. But previously we had reviewed it on our 25 and under show, and it was my number 1 pick. And so for my bourbon bar selection, I kind of went through what I had previously tasted and what ones in the blinds that I picked. And this one was my winner in that blind. So my $25.99 bottle of Wild Turkey 101.
And that really is a great pour. It's a great value for that bottle.
It is full of flavor.
So my number 2 pick is going to be Wild Turkey Rare Breed. So we're going to keep Wild Turkey alive and well here. This is actually a 116 proof bottle. It can be purchased. It's a little bit more for $49.99. Again, that's here in Ohio. We've heard stories where it's a little more than that, maybe a little less than that, but that's what we pay for it. And for a little higher proof, it's actually it's really a mild pour, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's an enjoyable sipper, really. So I didn't have, when we put this list together, I was driving for about 3 hours, so Shona had the time to kind of put a little more thought into her list and pick out things that she had chose on our reviews before, where I just kind of went down through and was like, oh, I like this, and I like this, and I like this.
Yep.
So
I think you had given me 8 or 10, and then I had to finagle the number so he stayed under 250.
yeah, that's I think 8 I gave you.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Shawna did some juggling to see what bottles we could get, and really she got me the most amount of bottles for that price. So far I've got Bulleit Orange and Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
All right. So my next bottle is the Smoke Wagon, the straight bourbon whiskey, which is out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and it's a 92.5 proof. It was actually my #1 pick from the $25 to $30 blind taste that we did, and again, a very good bourbon, especially for under the $30 mark. So these are my 2 cheaper bourbons that I would definitely have in my bourbon bar if I only had $250 to start it with.
So that's a great bottle and even a better city.
Yes, you love Vegas.
I do love Vegas. Okay, my next bottle is going to be actually Knob Creek 9.
And this one shocked me that he picked this.
It really took some thought to land on this, because when Shawna and I first opened this bottle, we were actually just away for the weekend, I guess, and we picked it up. We found it and we picked it up, and we were excited and we couldn't wait to get back and try it. And we were sitting on the porch and we popped the top and poured it and called the fire department. It was so hot. We were like, what did we do? We bought this bottle, and by the way, this bottle can be bought for $34.99. It was just really harsh. It had a lot of heat. It packed a punch. And
Well, the reason we were disappointed, I think you're kind of forgetting, we only picked this one up. 1, we'd never had Knob Creek.
that's right.
And 2, we wanted to taste Knob Creek because we had just gotten a Knob Creek 15 to put in our 15-year anniversary decanter
That's
that we
right.
bought. And so with not having Knob Creek before, we just wanted an opportunity to kind of taste
And
a
see
Knob
what it was
Creek
all about.
bourbon.
Yep.
Yes,
And at that point, we were really disappointed.
we were.
So, long story short, we ended up having to put a little ice on it to get through it that night. And that actually made it really pretty enjoyable once we put ice on it. However, we did what show was that? Was that our $30 to $40 show?
So Knob Creek is $34.99, so it would have been 30 to 40.
$30 to $40 show. We reintroduced it. We got it back out. By that time, the neck pour was gone. It had been opened. And I think when we had those poured for us that night, it was probably poured and opened for an hour or so before we actually tasted it.
At least a half an hour. Yeah, I'm not sure, but
And wow.
it really, yeah.
Really, it was completely different. The whole profile had changed. And it was I won't say it's our favorite. It's definitely not our favorite, but not afraid to grab it and pour a glass of it.
No.
So that's my third.
Okay, my third is Elijah Craig Small Batch. It's a 94 proof, and it is $32.99 here in Ohio. A great smooth bourbon. I don't take the chance to drink this. Bryan does drink this one quite often, but and I believe it was actually on Bryan's list too. It just didn't make the cut due to his $250 limit.
Price-wise, it didn't fit.
However, it is a very, very good smooth bourbon that definitely would recommend for a home bourbon bar.
It's a great bottle, really. It's a good pour, and I probably don't drink it as much as I'd like to, because we've just got so many that we do enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next is going to actually be Angel's Envy. Why this has never made it onto one of our review shows, I don't know.
Because we always have a backed up bottle of it.
We've always got a bottle plus whatever's open. When Shona and I started drinking bourbon, this was my go-to bottle. I don't even know who turned us onto this or who recommended it, but we got a bottle of it, and I loved it. I still really like it. It is lower on the proof side. It's only 86.6 proof, and it can be bought here in Ohio. It's kind of on the pricey side. It's $50.99. I would call that, and I've had people ask me, hey, I'm kind of new to bourbon, and what do you recommend I try? This is where I point people, because it's just so easy to drink. It has a lot of flavor. It doesn't pack a punch. It doesn't carry all that heat. I really enjoy it. I don't drink it as much as I used to, because I've learned to appreciate the little higher proof stuff, but still a great bottle.
Yep. So this brings me to my fourth bottle, which is Bibb and Tucker, $54.99. It's a small batch whiskey that is 92 proof, and I believe this was on the small batch review that you and Mike did. I can tell you that my old boss Pete, who was on one of the shows with you first, like one of the first shows that
yeah, I
you
think
put
our
out there,
second show, he come and did a cocktail with us.
he got me hooked on this, and it is such a good smooth bourbon that you may or may not even pick it up because of the bottle. I think it's a beautiful bottle, but some people might just walk right past it. But love it.
And they have other versions of Bibb and Tucker, doesn't? I think that's
Yes.
the only one we've ever had.
Yeah, I do believe they have a single barrel that is out there, and I think they may have one that's aged longer, but I really don't know.
They have one that's maybe, it's not double oaked. I think they call it double charred, maybe.
I think so, yes. But very good, $54.99.
Another great Porto. Great bottle. Okay, my next one brings me to actually what I'm enjoying tonight. $17.92. This bottle can be purchased here in Ohio for $32.99. It was on our $30 to $40 show.
It's on your small batch show too.
Small batch, maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't on both. Maybe it was just a small batch.
Yeah. And is it 100 proof?
Nah, it is 93.7 proof, so it's not super high proof. Cool story about that one. I was actually, it was allocation day. I'd gone to the store to see what I could find, and there wasn't really anything released that day, so I was looking on the shelf. Don't see this a lot, but some. And I picked it up and was looking at the bottle, and I set it back down, and one of the regulars was there, and he said, oh, you're going to want to pick that bottle back up. You won't be disappointed. And I said, I don't know. And at that point, really, we weren't buying stuff per se just to, well, let's try it and see. But I did, and I think we both really liked it
very good.
when we first opened it. So it is a good pour, and for $32.99, I mean, it's, you're not going to get a whole lot less expensive than that. And when you do get less expensive than that, you're not going to get, I don't think you're going to get more flavor than that.
No, it's very good. 1792 also has a sweet wheat that I've been searching for. So if anybody has a 1792 sweet wheat or knows where I can pick one up, please comment.
Terry, if you're watching, if you could maybe point us in the direction of one of those, you might know where one's at.
So mine fifth bottle is Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. It is a 90.4 proof, and it is $55.99 here in Ohio. It is actually what I am drinking tonight. This one I know was unopened, but I have a store pick behind me, so I just wanted you to know that, obviously the store pick's hard to find, but this one is extremely good, and I would never not have a Woodford. In fact, if the competition or I guess it's not a competition, but if the show would have allowed me to have one, a bigger budget, or two, easy to find bourbons, the Woodford Reserve Masters Collection
Oh yeah,
would have probably, the batch proof would have probably made it.
that would have been better than half your budget
Yeah,
though.
it would have been like, I'd have had
Yeah.
like 3 bottles, that's it. But anyways, Woodford Reserve is one of my favorites. Now, I would have probably put both Woodford Reserves in there, but again, I had to finagle with mine, so I chose to keep the double oak because I lean more towards the double oak if I'm just having a sipping bourbon. So,
And before we get on to the common denominator for both of us, out of these 5 bottles that I have up here, and even out of your 5 bottles, because I like your 5 bottles too. Obviously, that's my
That's your go-to.
9 times out of 10. That's my go-to. But to say that I would always pick one over any of the other ones, that's not true. I enjoy all these, and I'm happy to have any of them.
absolutely.
It's tonight we were like, yeah, let's have a pour of something for the show, and I struggled. I was like, geez, what do I want? So I landed with the 1792, and I'm never disappointed with it.
Great. So you have our,
So the common denominator is 4 Roses, single barrel. This can be purchased here in Ohio for $49.99.
yes,
So it's a little on the higher side for everything we've got out tonight, although we both have bottles over 50. This one is 100 proof. Super good bottle. It really is.
and Pete would be proud that we both have this one on ours.
Pete would be proud. Pete was instrumental in our 4 Roses
Adventure.
selections, I guess. We probably neither of us thought that would ever lead to this, but
Yes.
that's a great bottle. It really is. We did a whole 4 Roses flight. We did a video on a whole 4 Roses flight.
And this was my number 1.
It really is good. I mean, we had 4 different bottles. The only one that didn't really score real high with us was the
It's the straight.
just the straight 4 Roses.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have any proof. It's 80 proof. There's just not much going on with it. There's not a lot of flavor in it. It's maybe if somebody's starting out, they want to learn how to drink bourbon, you give them a pour of that. They kind of start getting their taste buds accustomed to bourbon without hurting them. And that's kind of what happens with Angel's Envy, but I think there's more flavors here than there was in that.
I've been admiring your little curvature, so I feel like I have to get mine more in a curvature
Yeah,
to
you're
match yours.
usually
There
the
you
neat,
go.
and you're usually all about presentation. What happened?
I know. So your grand total for your
My grand
bourbon
total
shopping.
for my 5 and our shared bottle was $246.94. So I thought I did really good using up my $250 budget.
Now, when he says shared bottle, we did not split the cost of this.
No, that's
That's your 6 bottles.
Yes.
Was $246.94.
yes.
My 6 bottles was $249.94.
So like I said, I
6
thought I
cents
did
left.
a good job. I had enough money left to go get myself a milkshake or something, I guess.
Yeah, I had enough to leave pennies in the little jar for someone else
Got
to
a
use.
penny, leave one, need a penny, take one. That's where Shona was at. She left the pennies in the tray. So, this was a good show. $250, what would you buy to start your home bar? If you guys have any other suggestions, something that we've missed, we know there's lots of other options out there. Drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think or what you would start your bar with for $250.
Absolutely, I'd love to hear it, especially if it's ones that we haven't had.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be great to know.
Yeah, and we're not opposed to low-end bottles. One of the bottles that we had in our $20 to $25 show was a $22 or $23 bottle of Redemption.
Right.
It was
did not
pretty,
fare well, though.
No, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
But you
But you had it
always
against
pick.
things like this.
Right, which is your favorite. So,
Right.
Yeah. So, and Wild Turkey 101,
Yeah, I mean, it was a
it's full
pretty
of
packed
flavor.
flight.
Yeah. And so, even if you're trying to build a bourbon bar on a budget, there are a lot of good lower price point bourbons that are delicious.
And I think the other thing that people should consider is not everybody that sits at their bar is going to want a pour of bourbon. They're going to want a cocktail or
Yes.
something. So, Buffalo Trace. Neither one of us were super crazy about Buffalo Trace.
No.
However, if you need a mixer, it's a low-cost bottle. That's a great mixer.
Yep.
Four Roses, the bottle that we weren't super crazy about. You could use that as a mixer. We don't always use those bottles as mixers.
No, we tend to use the Bulleit one.
We like to use Bulleit for a lot of our
Or I use
our mixes.
just the Woodford Reserve straight.
We've used some rye.
Yes, we have really started drinking more rye whiskeys.
We have.
They're actually really enjoyable. In
I think
my opinion, I know a lot of people don't like rye.
No, and I think
I like the spice to them.
the bourbon path has taken our palate to a point where we enjoy the rye.
Absolutely.
Because initially we didn't enjoy rye.
Right. And I have a brand new rye that we've yet to open. I didn't know Wild Turkey 101 had a rye until we seen it.
That's right.
And
we haven't
obviously,
opened that yet, have we?
it's everywhere. It's easy to find. I don't know why I hadn't.
It looks just like that.
And same price point.
You've got
so I'm anxious to try that
a green 101 versus a red 101, and you've got a green label.
Yep.
But yeah, we're anxious to try that one. I can't believe we haven't tried it yet.
We will.
We will. So many other things going on that
Yeah.
we just can't enjoy our hobby all the time.
No, we definitely cannot. So if you would help us, please get 3 more subscribers so we can do our very first giveaway.
3 more and somebody's getting a bottle.
Yes.
How we're going to work that giveaway yet?
As soon as we get there, we'll have a show announcing the giveaway. We'll list all the
How it's going to work?
how it's going to work. We're probably going to let that giveaway run for at least 2 to 3 weeks. That way, everybody, because I know that everybody doesn't watch YouTube every day
On a regular basis.
So I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to enter, and then
And we'll refer back to that video.
yep. But we'll name a date, and we will get on and announce the winner on that date during another show. And we'll have a show with it, but then announce the winner as well.
Right. Okay. Well, this was
Sounds
good.
good.
I like this.
Good. Now I need a bigger budget.
Well, maybe you could talk to the finance department.
I'm keeping you at the $250 budget. I need like a $500 budget.
Okay, I see how you're going to work it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. This has been a lot of fun, and like we said, if there's something we missed, give us your lineup. Put it in the comments. Let us know what you would go out and get for $250.
Even if it isn't 6 bottles. I mean, we didn't target 6 bottles. It's just
No,
how
it
it
just
felt.
worked out that
So
way.
if you can only get 4 bottles,
Or if you can get 8
great.
bottles.
Yeah. Or if you can get 10. I mean, whatever.
10, whatever
Just
you
let
come
us
up
know
with.
what your $250 bar would start with.
Yep. So, any questions? Drop them in the comments. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Thanks, everyone.